as we have a Titan now, his fellow RTM man coming through to place himself P7, splitting up the two VCARB'S, as Admiral behind the 28.898, a stonking lap from the McLaren. Can Cajun match him? It's not quite able to improve. We've got Ferrari now, I believe that's David coming to the line. Can he challenge for pole? Up in the P3, second row of the grid for the Ferrari. Jan now takes provisional 28.5. That is a mental lap time. That's 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. The McLaren's actually got a really good getaway on the inside there. But it's not going to be enough to challenge John down in turn 1. But somebody is going to challenge. Drac tried to go around the outside of Admiral, but he's not quite able to make it work. Ozer's keeping a hold of that P4 for now. Cajun in P5 still hanging on. As fans can have a look around the outside of Don Dal in turn 5. It's quite a risky move to be going for this early on, but can he make the move stick down in the turn 7? He's still on the inside. Don Dal just about gets hit. He's now going to be under threat from Titan behind. Not very much space left at the apex, but it's hard racing there. At the back as the Merc goes for a late move. Jeremy up the inside. Ah, it's into the wall! It's into the wall already! And that's wing damage for Titan. It seems to calm down a little bit in the midfield, but we've got Genji, I think, getting very feisty in these early laps, trying to go around the outside of the Williams there. And now he's got Tom having a half look now down towards the bridge section. And there's nothing really going there for the Aston Martin. As the Williams hit the wall, Vatty's out. He's DNF'd already, and surely that's a safety car. It's not even a VSC. He's DNF'd on the racing line. Michael Massey, what are you doing, mate? Give us a bit of excitement. But Vatty is going to be having an early shower now. As he's gone up the inside, a little bit of a tap there on the front wing of Admiral, but he reclaims that race lead. Obviously having that instant early on, as seems to be some shenanigans going on. Fanta has been spun round now at turn 1. I'm not sure if that was on his own or maybe he's got in a bit of contact with someone. Puts back on the lead as Drac now is giving Admiral a bit of a push there, forced him to go defensive. As Admiral going to have a look up the inside, he is. As late on the brakes, a little bit of lock up, and I think slight contact. But Young keeps P1, and Div 5 getting very, very feisty here on these opening laps. As Ozer's now is going to have a look on the inside, it's very risky to go for there. He does back out, the smart decision. However, that does force Admiral into a mistake. He goes off the track, loses the position to David. And now Cajun might be able to have a look on his teammate. Obviously reserved, so he might be a bit more inclined. Fetch now picks up a track limits penalty. He's going to be under pressure from Genji. Very low on the ERS as the Haas driver. And now Genji goes for the outside. Fetch going defensive though, not giving him any leeway at all. But Genji now has the inside for this next corner. Up the inside, nice and controlled, unlike the Alpine incident earlier on. But Fetch going to come back at him. He's not letting this go without a fight. And Genji gets the better drive out of the corner as Tom picks up a 3-second time penalty. So it's now the third race as Admiral's gone round. I think he's been rear-ended there. I was too busy looking at the penalties. That's going to be disastrous for Avi as Admiral now down in the P8 from the podium positions. As I think Drac's maybe gone off there and Ozer's got Cajun up the inside. Very late move, an opportunistic move, but clean nonetheless. As David's up the inside of Drac. Ice just slides that Ferrari up the inside, almost making contact. He's still on the inside, but he backs out before the bridge section, doing exactly what he did the Admiral to force a mistake. And they're side by side for the bridge. And that's an extremely tight gap as David threading the needle, extremely close to disaster there. And now Cajun's under threat from the Grom. Obviously on the hard tyres, we're going to be hitting the crossover point now for these cars to really be coming to life for the Haas driver. As Admiral up the inside there of Dondal, not going to be able to get the good exit that he's hoping for though. Will you have a look now down in the turn 20 though? He's weaving behind, trying to just find an opening. As down the inside, and he makes the late move, little bit of contact, and Dondal's going to be able to maintain that position as I believe it was in the Grom. Or was that Fett? No, it was definitely Negron was battling with the VCARB. We had to look up the inside. As Dundal up the inside, Admiral. And he runs a little bit wide, little bit wheel locking, and that's going to force Admiral off the end of the runoff of turn 2. Is Young to be able to have a go at Cajun now with the DRS? He's going to pull to the outside, try and be there in the brakes. Is he going to cut to the inside now? Not able to find the gap there on that outside line. Gets a very good exit though. He's going to put Cajun under pressure into turn 20. Cajun pulling all the way to the inside. Not making it easy for the Aston Martin. Around the outside, he gets the inside now for turn 21. Not able to get a good exit though, and that allows Cajun to reclaim that position. Approach the main overtaking opportunity. Obviously turn 7 with that DRS. Cajun burning the DRS, but Jan's still going to have a look to the outside. He is there, gets squeezed towards the wall by the McLaren, but cuts the inside. He's going to try and take the outside line, and he's going to cut back under again, as I think that's Fetch has found the wall in the bridge section. And Fetch is absolutely miles back. Actually, that's not Fetch, it's the Grom. That's the Grom from the race lead on the hard compound tires. And he's broken his wing. And it is a disaster for the Haas outfit. As Jan actually did get occasion. I am horrible at keeping track of these. As Ozer's going to try and go around the outside occasion. And he now gets the inside line for turn 9. And that is... he's going to have to back out. He can't carry as much speed as the McLaren through there, as he's just closing in on the rear wing. Cajun goes defensive. David though sticks to the outside. He's going to go the long way around. Not very much space being given by the Ferrari, but still legal on the inside now. And David squeezing the McLaren as far as he can. As now, is he going to cut the inside and try and get the bear around? He is, but surely he can't go for it into the bridge section here. And he does back out, he thinks better of it, but can he force a mistake from the McLaren ahead? And he's going to want to attack the Ferrari as soon as possible. As David's going for the outside turn 20. It's a very, very opportunistic move to go for, but he's not quite able to make it work. As Drac now is cutting back through midfield, he gets up past the Mercedes of Genchi. He's now going to have his sights set on the lead Mercedes car, 1 or 2.4 seconds up the road from him. Will Occasion be under pressure again from Ferrari, as Admiral's had a big snap at the rear there on the exit of turn 5. That's going to hinder his exit and give David free run at Cage. He's going to go for the outside again, much later on the brakes, but maybe too late, as he has to compromise his exit, and Cajun up the inside again. But David not letting it go. Extremely late down the inside, forces Cajun as wide as possible, and that's not going to allow Admiral through. He claims the inside line, and now McLaren free for, and they can try and hold that Ferrari at bay. I mean, surely if you're the Ferrari, you have to try and see if you can do something different, as the two Mercedes in that battle with Ozzy just top down the inside, and I think it's a little bit of wheel banging there, and once again, more contact between these two. Jeremy cutting back across as extremely aggressive racing from the two, but Tom picks up that position, comes out with a P9 as the Red Bull head get into reduced Harvin. Oh, I've jinxed it. It's the commentator's curse. Drax tried to burn. I think he's caught the Red Bull a bit faster than he was anticipating, and that's now going to see him, I think, has he got away without damage at least? English has come into the pits. He's doing a 2-stop, but it's Drac now. He's going to have to try and just clear this Red Bull as quick as possible. Down the inside of turn 20, little bit of contact on the front wing, but he does get the move done this time round, and now he's going to have to set his sights on David. English's current gaps, only 14 seconds to the lead. Obviously with traffic, that's going to be a bit more. Oof, it's down the inside of the hairpin. And he goes for, he's not quite able to make the lunge stick, but he will get a great exit, and he's going to have a good run now to take the outside line and claim the position for breaking up in the P8. Actually, English is already up behind Fanta. That's 2.8 seconds between him and Destroyer Jack for the train for the podium positions. VCARB might actually be cooking here, as English has caught Drac already. The mediums are actually insane. VCARB are actually cooking with the strategy here, as VCARB might be proving everyone wrong with the strategy. Goes to the outside for turn 5, obviously trying to get that better run. And he's already having a go at David. I might be getting 2 for 1 like a Tesco meal deal now. Can he get close enough to Cajun? It's not quite going to be able to get him in turn 7, but turn 8, will he be able to go for the inside? Doesn't even think about it, to be fair. He's been very patient with the moves here. As I said, it's very good race management from RTM English. And now he gets past Cajun. He's going to be unleashed unleashed into the free air here. Jon, I think, is going to have a go at Admiral here in the turn 7. Goes to the outside. And this is only going to make them slower and allow English to catch up more, as we're getting a bit argy-bargy with the tyre banging there. As Jon forcing Admiral as far away as he legally can. Switch to the inside now. The burn before the bridge section, but he's going to have to concede for that P2 on track. Has a little half, it's 4.9 seconds already. English could have a generational strategy here. As Jon and Admiral are still going at it, Jon clears him to get that P1 to put the car between himself and English. And English down the inside of Admiral, and it's a late move, but it is a clean move. Admiral has to back out. And it's almost Max Verstappen-esque there, of the back out or we crash situation. As now down the 310s between English and Jon. Is he going to have a go at turn 20? He's burning. We'll hop on board. Is he going to go to the inside? Jon's not going to cover it off. I still got him on the outside there. And he clears Jon, and now surely he's just going to run away with it. English has got a 3.5 second gap. That is mental. But David now down the inside in turn 1, forcing Cajun long way around. And there's a little bit of contact. I'm not too sure if McLaren will be very happy with that. But he does get the move done. Cajun getting very twitchy now on exit. But now David's going to be without that DRS. Admiral and Jon are still going at it as well. I'll be interested to see if maybe... as Jon switched to the inside, but there's still a bit of contact there with Admiral. That's it. They're still side by side. 3 seconds to Jon still on the inside, but Admiral getting that better drive on the outside, potentially. He does just get squeezed out there. He's not going to be close enough, but English now coming through the final turn. And it's a strategic masterclass from VCARB. English wins the Singapore Grand Prix. What a drive from the VCARB man. That is a strategic masterclass if I've ever seen one. I think I'm gonna have to eat my words from earlier. VCARB proved us all wrong with the strat there. As Tom comes through P7, Fanta jumps in there with that time penalty, and Dondal up in the P8. Negrom in P10 gets jumped by Genchi, and then Jeremy is going to come through for P12 after both the Mercedes opted for the 2-stop strategy. Fetch coming through for a disappointing P13 by his standards. And then the grid will be rounded off by Titan, who just never seemed to really recover after that early incident with the Mercedes. As he's 40 seconds off of P13.